A third grade teacher once asked her students if any of them had ever scraped their elbow before. A student raised their hand and she put a Band-Aid on their elbow. She then asked if any of you had ever experienced a head injury before. Once again, a student raised their hand and once again she put a Band-Aid on their elbow. Not their head, the location of the injury. This continued until all students had bandages on their elbow. This bandage placement was only beneficial to one student out of many. She did this to paint a picture of equity, to show me the placement of bandages, why her assistance might need to vary on a student-to-student basis throughout the year, to make sure that every student had what they need to be successful. As planners, politicians, and citizens attempting to aid our cities, we must heed this lesson. We need to tailor our treatment to meet the need, rather than adopting a standard approach to meet the needs of a wide variety of people. This lesson on equity drove our project. Hi, I'm Joy McFadden from Ivy City Renaissance, a team of students from the George Washington University and Paris Sciences et Lettres University who won the C40 Students Reinventing Cities competition for our Sustainable Urban Development Plan for Ivy City, a historic neighborhood in Washington, D.C. Ivy City emerged as an African-American neighborhood after the American Civil War. Today, nearly 60% of its residents are African-American, with median household incomes well below the district's median. These, of course, are a few things that a Google search will reveal about Ivy City. But to truly understand the area, you need to look at it from the perspective of its residents. To accomplish this, we began by identifying and engaging a diverse group of stakeholders, as well as conducting an on-site examination of the area. Over the course of this, we learned a few things. This is the Hetch Warehouse, an old warehouse along New York Avenue that was recently transformed into a beautifully designed shopping center and apartment building. Unfortunately, though impressive, this provides luxury amenities for a community that couldn't really afford them even if they wanted them. In the past few decades, efforts to redesign Ivy City have fallen flat. Many put Band-Aids in the wrong locations rather than addressing the residents' needs. Many remain without access to necessities like a community center or an affordable grocery store. The lack of public transit induces rapid job turnover that makes it difficult for local businesses to succeed. And air pollution brought on by the numerous bus parking lots and New York Avenue creates a high rate of asthma among the residents. The only green space, Lois Crowell Park, is covered in needles, preventing safe play. Our proposal seeks to uplift the neighborhood by 1. Promoting innovative mobility, 2. Fostering community, and 3. Enhancing sustainability. We anticipate it to cost $20 million over the next 10 years, which fits in with Mayor Bowser's proposed budget for Ivy City. First, mobility. Our walking tour revealed that due to a lack of transit, Ivy City and the rest of DC are disconnected from each other, which has led to high job turnover, low traffic from non-residents, and a general lack of walkability. The creation of a shuttle, bus rapid transit, bike routes, and a green streets program could overcome these issues. It would lead to increased traffic for local businesses and a reduction in greenhouse gas emissions, which is essential for this project. Second, community. For years, groups like Empower DC have asked that the historic Crummell School be converted into a community center. Our hope is to make that dream a reality. Expansive green space, on-site grocery, ample recreational and community spaces that celebrate the school's namesake and African-American culture will all change Ivy City's present and honor its past. When asked what the area needed most, residents stated a women's shelter. Providing a sustainably designed shelter, affordable housing, and job opportunities will help cater to the area's large homeless population. All of these programs together will help strengthen Ivy City's social infrastructure. Last, sustainability. Ivy City has a higher average air pollution level than the city and the nation. Ivy City's high concentrations of minorities and low-income populations make this an environmental justice issue. To protect the health of the residents, both mental and physical, we want to redesign Lois Crowell Park into a vibrant, usable space and reduce the negative effects of the parking lots by adding trees, solar panels, and the like. Lastly, we suggested new construction using shipping containers. Inexpensive, durable, and flexible, construction projects using shipping containers could also be organized as a job training opportunity for Ivy City residents. Understand that these principles are starting points for larger discussions. Ivy City Renaissance is centered on putting the community's needs at the forefront. If we don't tailor the treatment to meet the need, we leave a lot of open wounds which will only worsen over time. In a world threatened by megatrends such as climate change, these open wounds would spell disaster for our most vulnerable communities and ultimately society itself. At the beginning, I told you a story of a teacher who explained equity via the placement of bandages on elbows to explain different injuries. Now imagine how we could revitalize Ivy City if we put bandages in the right areas. We could give a long-neglected community the opportunity to thrive and grow. This is what drives the Ivy City Renaissance.